seconds to go.
Yeah.
Chicago just came back 6-11. Newton get the big turnover. You're thinking, wow, this team possibly can pull this out. 6-11. Chicago comes back, get the touchdown, goes up for the first time. They got 12 seconds.
Yeah.
Get 2 plays to get down. He has 2 seconds
2
left.
seconds left.
2 seconds. He scrambles for a good while before he put that ball. It doesn't play out as well as it did. Talk to me about seeing how this just played out and him scrambling around to be able. He went from one side to the other side.
I promise you, watching a lot of games, lately, especially college games, you get the chance to see the Shadoras of the league in college that had these moments. And I swear to you, when I saw him scrambling, that's the first thing popped up. Man, I was watching the Colorado game, and Shador Sanders went down and made a play. Let's see if he can make one of these special plays, and bang. I mean, I swear to God, I will not lie to you. That's the first thing popped in my mind when I saw him scramble around and kind of set up and launch it. And like you say, we got a chance to speak to him on our Game Day Live show on YouTube, Commanders YouTube. And the first thing he said, man, is you got to be living right, and that was God. That Hail Mary was nothing but God. So give the kid credit, man, for being gutsy, coming out here and putting on a performance like that. And they didn't push this game back for no reason. It lived up to the hype.
Yeah, just belief. Obviously, we don't want to, struggle, in the red zone like that. But just the belief in our team and our brotherhood in our team. We just knew if we get Jaden some time on the last play that he can get it there. And our wideouts, tight ends, did a great job getting to a spot, and then tips and overthrows.
Talk to me about how this team fought back to take this win.
I think it just speaks to our resiliency and how we fight for each other, our brotherhood, and our preparation that we put in throughout the week. And we never kind of hung our heads, and so we faced a little adversity today, but we just showed our fight and just kept going to the finish. It
was a chess match at the end, backwards and forward. They take the lead for the first time. Everybody thought maybe the game was over, but this team fought on overall, the defensive line came up with a big, fumble recovery by Newton. Talk about just this team as a whole right now. How do you see them?
Like I said, I think it just comes down to our brotherhood, and we saw the adversity today, and it's hard to get wins in this league. And you have a game last week where we kind of got ahead of the team, but it's not going to be like that every week. And we came in, credit to those guys, they came in and fought hard, and we'll just keep going every week, putting in work.
I saw it. When I got down there, Jalen Johnson pushed me on the ground. I'm like, all right, bet. So, when we're in that situation, we know that it's really anybody's ball. It's a free-for-all down there. Refs are not going to call holding, boxing out. It's physical, you know what I mean? And I think, like I said, we practice that literally once a week where we're in situations where we're practicing our gotta-have-it situations. And so everybody was calm, cool, and collected when we knew we had a timeout. We knew where we needed to get to have a chance. And I think that's the most thing I'm proud of, because when you got a group of guys who it's never over and you go out there and execute, when you need it, how to have it most, like DQ was preaching all week about winning moments, and nothing is more poignant and nothing is more clear than what happened at the end of that game.
Noah Brown ends up in the perfect place. Hail Marys normally be flopping around, but nobody is that clearly open because he backpedaled. And he just was there by himself in the end zone, and the ball, it was almost like Jaden threw it in his hands.
Well, there's always a guy behind the pile or behind the guys that's going to jump, and there's always a guy in the front. That's how we used to do it. As a receiver, they tell you, we script this thing. The Hail Mary, when you get down there, wherever you're coming from, if you're coming from the right or the left, they'll tell you, okay, the guy on the left side, you make sure you're in front. The guy on the right side, you make sure you're in back. And then there's those guys in the middle that's trying to get in the middle of that pile to either push the ball up. And I don't know if they planned it that way, but it worked out. Whatever they did, man.
It played out that way.
And I'm just happy to see the outcome come in our favor.
I definitely felt like there was a few plays that we left out there, a few mistakes, allowed them to stay in the game. But it's always good to correct the win, in my opinion. So, we're gonna enjoy this one, and then we're gonna get right back to the film board.
Talk to me a little bit about you all being able to contain as far as Caleb, because to be able to keep them contained for most of the game, that's hard to do. Just talk to me a little bit about that.
I'm gonna give all the credit right there to the D-line. They came out today. They played their tails off. They were getting back there. You know what I'm saying? They were giving him pressure all game. Forcing him to make a few bad throws. We got sacks. Like, the D-line really showed up today. They showed out. And, when you have the opportunity to go against a quarterback like that, that's exactly what you want to do. So, huge, shout out to those guys up front.
Johnny Newton came up with that big turnover, fumble recovery close to the end of the game with about 6:11 to go. You talked about the defensive line, but just talk a little bit about Johnny Newton. He's been in the last couple of weeks, and like you said, they came up big game after, play after play.
Yeah. What Johnny showed, this team since he's got here is resilience and the will to want to be out there with us. He came in, we know what happened in the combine and just with his foot, and then he came in and then we found out that his other foot was messed up. Every single day he was attacking recovery, attacking treatment, just trying to get back out there with us, battling in OTAs to, fight to get back out there. Played a little bit early on, kind of re-aggravated the foot, just consistently going back at it to recover, and then just trying to stay ready. And he did exactly that, and today he got his opportunity to be out there and do exactly, what we expect him to do. He had a great game. I think 2 sacks, a fumble recovery, maybe 2 TFLs. Like, that's a huge game for a rookie, in my opinion. So that's my guy right there. So that's nephew. I'm proud of nephew right
So all 11 of us around the ball, that's how we created energy. What was it? EGB, energy generated ball. That's our mantra. We got shirts for it. So everybody trying to be around the ball and make plays, and that's how we do it.
This team offensively come up with a win. They take it back. It's almost like a chess match at the end of the game. Talk to me a little bit about the offense coming up, Hail Mary, 2 seconds to go, and Noah Brown ends up with the ball. As you're standing on the sideline watching that, what's going through your mind?
I mean, obviously it's a roller coaster emotion. Tough play on the 4th down for me. But it's never over, as they say. So I kept looking up. I'm like, okay, Jalen got some time. I'm like, oh, you rolling to the right, rolling to the left. I'm like, okay, he's gonna have time to get the ball up. And then I'm like, okay, the ball's gonna reach the end zone. Then it gets tipped, and it catches it. I kind of had flashback from previous years because we've been on the other side of it, not going our way, and then it finally went our way. Ball don't lie. They called the penalty and they scored, and the football guys were like, you know what? Let's give him one more chance, and then we got it. We capitalized on it.
Speak on this team as a whole right now, how big this win was.
Honestly, this win, especially at home, to have a tough game throughout the whole from the first to the fourth, it wasn't easy. It could have been either way. We played well both sides of the ball, but it could have been sometime one play could have changed the whole game, and we battled all the way to the end. And that's what we say, our brotherhood, our chemistry was going to be better than theirs, and that's what happened. We didn't quit, and we capitalized on the moments when they were there.
I asked Coach Witt during the week, I said, how can you rattle a young quarterback like that? You even spoke to me a little bit about that. How were you all able to rattle him a little bit throughout the whole game?
Rattle all the talking about Caleb?
Yeah.
Just doing her job, sending pressure, having sticky coverage, giving him different looks, being on the details. He's still he's a great quarterback, but there's still a learning curve of small things that you can't do or you shouldn't do there and all that stuff. And that's what we try to exploit. And honestly, he tried to escape around the pocket, whatever. He did some great plays. Honestly, he's a really good player. But every time he started to roll out or whatever, everybody was chasing him. So it wasn't that much yard after the either a yard after the catch or yard after the line of scrimmage for him.
Hey, Frankie, could you talk a little bit about the offensive side? Jayden Daniels comes back, not for sure if he was going to play, but he played, and just what he was able to do in pulling this team out and helping them to get this win.
Oh, man, it just says a lot about a kid. He's just a competitor. All week he was getting his body right, and for times like this, man, to 12 seconds or however left that was on the clock, but it says a lot about him, man, and it speaks volume, man, and all the guys in his locker room respect that.
Defense, you got to take your hats off to a defense that pretty much shut down Chicago for the most of the game, but the defensive front, Johnny Newton, what he's been able to do since he's been plugged in. Some of the other guys that's making big plays. Secondary had to make sure that they shut down those potent receivers. You got to take your hat off to that defense too.
Yeah, we know it's going to be a tough matchup, but we heard all week long that Chicago Bears defense is one of the most stingiest defenses that we're going to probably face, and rightfully so. You know, I mean, they held us under 20 points, and normally when they do that, they win. This is one of many games that they held a team under 20 points and lost it. But our defense came to play as well. They was able to be as stingy as they were, and I think one of the things that stood out to me is just the cornerback play. I think it's getting progressively better each and every week. You know, yes, we got a ticky-tack call by St. Juice that gave them life to get that touchdown late in the fourth quarter with 20-some seconds left in the game. But hey, man, I'd rather take him playing physical to the whistle than just giving something up. And that's the thing I've seen most, you know, this year with our cornerback play, man. It's been a tremendous upgrade from those guys going out there and playing as well as they've been playing. And I think when you look at them collectively, they gave us the chance to have the last play. You know, we got a chance to talk to Jaden, like I told you before, and the first thing he said is our defense won us that game. So hats off to the defense. Each and every week we seen these guys getting more stout. In the run game, in the passing game, hey, they had a couple of runs that went out there that, if you call it the way that we saw it, it was a couple of holes here and there, but the game was like that. They didn't call some plays on us, they didn't call some plays on them. But our defense still stood up strong, man, at the end when we need them the most, and came away with a victory, man. That's all I can say.
6-2. What does that say about this team right now?
It says a lot. I think one of the things about records, you can't always let it speak for what you're seeing on the field. I think what stands out to me the most is just when you watch the product. I think the product has said more than the record all year long. The way they talk, the way they play, the way the coaches coach. You seeing the head coach, when they went up, he went down and talked to every man on the sideline, like, hey, we in it, stay in it, stay in it. He never has his head down. He shows no quitting. That's why the guys play the way they play. And, you know, I've been there before with a coach like that, you know, kind of, I guess you could say, ignite the guys that's out there playing for him. And you want to run through a wall for a coach like that. And it's not a surprise to me why these guys are having success, because they're out there playing together. He's teaching that. He's teaching these guys to play for your brother. It's a brotherhood. Play for one another. And that's why the outcome has been, you know, in our favor more than not this year.
Hey, Santana, I know you. I could imagine you up in that booth.
Yeah.
Looking at that happen. I mean, you probably heard me.
I was actually down here in the tunnel. You know, we was getting ready for the post-game show, and I'm sitting here like, I was really disappointed. I'm like, man, we let one get away. And I was just trying to find something to be, I guess you could say, positive about. And I was. I'm thinking about what I'm going to talk about in Game Day Live post-game show. And I'm sitting there like, man, what can I, you know, say? And bam. And I'm like, that just happened. And I'm talking about, I was jumping like a, you know what, at boy camp. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to say the words, but man, it was just one of those things.
Hey, you about to jump like I did from one end of the room